trick. It's just a litmus test. He's been fooled before. You could be fooled again. You're being tested. You don't know. It's just their game for you. You never know which way it's going to go.
I want to tell you a story about a god of the Northmen called Balder. The second son of Odin. He was beautiful, good and wise. He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments. Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
Trust us. See. Focus. Focus. Focus on the mask. Where are we? What is this? It's the same. It's another world. It's lighter. It's nicer. I like it here. Can we stay? Let's stay here. It's safe here. It's calm here. It's light here. It's nice. The bridge. It's not broken. It's fixed. What happens? The bridge is fixed. Let's cross it.
The Northmen tell this story about the death of Balder. It begins with dark dreams. Night after night, Balder dreams of his own death, and the gods fear for his life. So Balder's mother makes everything in the world, fire, water, iron, stone, earth, wood, beasts, birds, serpents, poison, sickness, swear an oath not to harm her son. One by one, they each make their vow. Neither weapons nor wood will injure him, Balder's mother boasts. Only Loki, father of Hela, the mistress of death, is not amused.
Dillion is in there. Don't forget. You can feel it. You need the runes to fight Dillion. You need Dillion. He's waiting for you. He always said he's close. He cares about you. You can feel he's close. He loves you. Calling you. Dillion. Dillion, we're here. Dillion. We're here. Go through it. It's dangerous. Follow it. What's behind the gate? Where will it take you? It's not safe. Dillion. There he is. There he is. What are you waiting for? Quick, find a way. Find him. Go through him before he disappears. Dillion, don't lose him. Slip away too many times.
You always let him disappear.
Dillion, there he is. Quick, where is he?
Where's he gone? The way.
We're in the wrong world.
He's not here.
She's in the wrong world.
He's not in this world.
He's in the other one. He's in the other one. He's in the dark world.
Dark.
The dark.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light.
You can't go up there.
Narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillion taught her to see further. To peek through the cracks and see the worlds of colour stretching away from the gloom. And Senua explored new paths into the unknown.
Do you even remember?
His love is guiding you.
What does it feel like to be in love? Do you even remember?
His love is guiding you.
The gods feast and rejoice and amuse themselves by throwing spears and stones at Baldur, striking her with sword and axe. But he comes to no harm, whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel. But Loki shapes himself into a woman and asks Baldur's mother, is it really true that all things promise to keep him safe? I did not ask the mistletoe, Baldur's mother confesses. I thought it was too young. Oh dear.
He's the reason she's alive at all.
Does it feel warm? Do you feel safe?
Dillion loves you.
You're cursed. Dillion doesn't know who killed him, but we do. You are guilty.
Was it worth it? Your curse has claimed Dillion.
He didn't know. He was kind. Curse.
Now the darkness is swallowing you both. She thought she had light within her. She is pure darkness. You broke him. You killed him. You couldn't see the darkness within you. Dillion saved you from them. He's the reason she's alive at all. Senua, you've got it.
Why isn't he here?
He's gone.
He's in the dark world.
He's gone to the dark world.
You're in the wrong world.
He's in the other world.
Dillion's in the dark.
Without you, he's there.
The blind god, Huth, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking pollen. Huth says, I cannot see where Baldur stands, and even if I could see him, I have no weapon. Loki replies,
Your love because he
here is
believed
a
in
wand.
you.
I will tell you where he stands. And Huth throws the mistletoe at Baldur. It pierces through him, and to everyone's horror, Baldur is killed. And for this, Huth is slain. Loki makes a dart out of mistletoe and goes to the gods as they throw things at Baldur. The blind god, Huth, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking pollen. Huth says, I cannot see where Baldur stands, and even if I could see him, I have no weapon. Loki replies, here is a wand.
Years had passed since she left her father. She trained hard alongside her friend, Dillion. She saw things no one else could. Patterns, shapes, movement. An intuition that made her an exceptional warrior. Friendship turned to love. But the shadow of darkness never let her go, and she was caught between two worlds. That of Zinbel and her past, and Dillion, her future. Two realities tearing at her soul.
But even so, the gods cannot accept his death.
She'll have no time for this. Speed up. These rooms, she could divide it's all part of their game. They've set you trials to distract you. They've set you up, and now they're going to watch you. What if these trials mean nothing? Laughing at you. What if they take you no closer to Dillion? That's Dillion, and you're letting this get in the way. What if they are just to tire you out, to make you weak before the battle? Was it worth it? You're still alive at Dillion's death. Doesn't deserve to be dead. How does that make you feel?
The Northmen tell how the gods mourned Baldur. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they...
Do you remember how he made you
Baldur. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage to push it into the sea and sent for a giantess to do it. She comes riding a wolf and has vipers for her reins. She pushes Baldur's ship into the sea with such force that the ground shakes and the rollers burst into flames. When Baldur's wife sees his body carried onto the ship, her heart bursts with grief, and she dies. She's put next to her husband, and the pyre is lit, sending the dead to hell. But even so, the gods cannot accept his death.
Do you know? Was it worth it? You're still alive and Dillion's dead. He doesn't deserve to be dead. How does that make you feel? What if they're all about wasting your time just delaying? Do you think she by minute to by minute? What does she think she's doing? You're special. She thinks she They mean nothing. Being special. It's a waste of time. Could all be a waste of her time. What if the gods are just toying? Playing with her. What if the gods are laughing at her? Messing with her. It wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be the first time.
All the gods are weeping, he says. Are they? Asks Hela. We shall see if he is truly missed. If everything in the world will weep for him, he shall go back to the gods. But if even one thing refuses, Baldur stays with me. The gods send messengers everywhere. Weep for Baldur, weep him out of hell. And everything wept. Men, beasts, earth, stone, trees, metal, everything. Except for a giantess they found in a cave. Baldur was never my friend, she says. Let hell keep what she has. The Northmen say that the giantess must have been Loki in disguise.
Do you remember the smell of his neck? You have blood. You are guilty. Was it worth it?
The curse crossed.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault. You're cursed. He was the only one that didn't mind the curse.
The Northmen tell how the gods punished Loki for Baldur's death. They captured him and took him to a cave. They fetched his 2 sons and turned one into a wolf, and he ripped his brother apart. The gods used Loki's own son's entrails to tie him down, and turned these bonds to iron, and dangled a poisonous serpent over his face, so that its venom would drip onto him. Each time the venom drips onto Loki's face, he writhes in agony. The Northmen say that is the cause of earthquakes. A reminder, perhaps, that if even gods must accept death, then so must we.
Dillion's in the tower.
He's there. He saw that she was strong. What if this is pointless? What are you doing? Why did you think you could make this work? You keep seeing runes. You see runes everywhere. Everywhere. What is that real? What if they don't actually make sense? The gods were lying. If you think it makes sense, but really the gods are playing with you. It makes sense in your mind, but it doesn't make sense. Worlds, the gods, but it doesn't mean anything. You can't read this language, you don't understand. Sinbad, you're wasting time. You're cursed. You'll never succeed. So, quicker. She thought she had light within her when she was born. She is pure darkness. Dillion! You had that love. You smashed it, strangled it. The curse cannot be. Do you remember meeting him beneath the tree? He led you astray. You should have listened to your father when you had the chance. Why didn't we listen to him? His love has tortured you, and it tortures me.
Dillion never much cared for the underworld, and looked dimly upon the druids, like her father, Sinbad. I guess he took after his father, a chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see, and he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillion's arms, learned to see the world through his eyes. Slowly, the darkness that had bound her so tightly began to unravel.
You're going to fall, careful. No, she's not. She's not going to fall. She's strong. She's steady. She can do it. You can do it, Senua. Be very, very careful. You've come this far. Don't make it slip away. It's a narrow bridge. And there's a long way to fall. Be quick. Be quick. Careful. Breathe. There he is. Be careful. Go to him. That's it. Quicker. It's not safe. You're going to fall, careful. No, she's not. She's not going to fall. She's strong. She's steady. She can do it. You can do it, Senua. No! Where's he gone? It's your fault. He's disappeared. You've lost him to the sea. He's gone. You've lost him to the... He's gone to the water. He's drowned.
Senua, your father cannot understand your darkness. He cannot see through your eyes. No one can. My own father was born blind. Doesn't have the faintest idea of what the night looks like. The word dark to him means as little as the word light. So someone is afraid of the dark. Should we fix them by taking away their sight? Would you give up the beautiful world that you, and only you, can see just to be rid of your nightmares? Or is
Killing
this the
you would
price
be
you pay
too
for the
easy.
gift you have?
They're taking your memories to torture you. They're taking you
Gift that makes you so special in
disappearing
life.
one memory. Every
another
time you
part of the
remember,
person.
it disappears. They're going to take everything. They're not yours anymore. They're going to take everything you have. The memories of ghosts. They belong to the gods, not to you. They're eating you from the inside. They want to kill your soul. They want to crush it. They want your body. They want your soul. They want your mind, and they're going to take it. The memories were yours, but they're the gods now. Nothing is yours anymore. Dillian's disappearing with your memories.